with Dawkins. But I think it's a false dichotomy, and I think that by far the most interesting debate is in the middle. There are many religious people, most Catholics, Episcopalians, Methodists, etc., completely accept evolution, always have done since the 19th century. It's not an issue for most religious people in mainstream churches. And some of them, like Teilhard de Chardin, Thomas Berry, and other religious philosophers have been trying to see how to understand an evolutionary view of theology and how God's will works in an evolutionary world. That's an interesting exploration. It's an interesting exploration as to how human consciousness is evolving and how it might be related to other forms of consciousness. None of those are there in this sort of scientific fundamentalist versus religious fundamentalist debate. But unfortunately, the media like these kind of confrontational, I'm right, you're wrong type debates. I find them really boring and tedious, and it's amazing that they've been going on for over a century without making much progress. So all the people I'm most interested in reading, talking to, and thinking about are not in either of those camps. I think everything that everyone in this room is interested in is not in either of those camps. I mean, the really interesting things is what moves things forward and not just getting locked into these dogmatic positions. But personally, I don't think it matters if most Americans think that dinosaurs existed 10,000 years ago instead of billions of years ago. What difference does it make? It's not really very important. It's much more important about issues like climate change that affect the way we behave. It doesn't much affect the way I behave as to what my opinion about dinosaurs might be.
Yeah, also, just if I could just add a little point on that, I personally have never understood why it has to be either evolution or God.
No, I don't understand.
Because any God, God enough to create all this stuff would surely create evolution. I mean, evolution's really, I mean, unless you can control every factor at work in the universe, sooner or later some whacking great asteroid is going to come flying in and hit your planet. Right. And you want life to be able to bounce around and evolve and change and adapt to those circumstances. So I've just never understood the dichotomy myself. No. Yeah.